Hello everybody, and I hope you're well. So what I thought I'd do today, seeing as quite a few of you now have Olympic weightlifting movements in your programming, is that I'll take you through a warm-up that I do for my clean work, okay? So what we're gonna go through is all the mobility work beforehand, so inch-runs and striders and all that jazz, and then we'll move on to the barbell, and I'll show you all the barbell movements that I do as well. So, let's get straight into it. So if you are feeling quite cold and it's a cold day and the gym you're working at isn't particularly warm, you might want to jump on a rower or some sort of cardiovascular equipment just to get the blood flowing and get a little bit warmer generally. It's not too cold in the gym today, so I'm going to go straight into it. I've got my knee sleeves on and I've got my weightlifting shoes on, which for all Olympic weightlifting movements you should want to wear those as you're warming up. So maybe not the knee sleeves if you don't have them, that doesn't matter, but especially for the Olympic weightlifting shoes, put those on for your warm up so you're training the movements in the ranges and in the shoes that you're going to be using for the actual workout, okay? So, get yourself a bit of space. I've got my barbell already, but I'm going to just roll that out of the way. The first thing I'm going to do, what I should say first of all actually, is that my warm up might look slightly different to what I've actually programmed to you in your programs. Not to worry, you can follow this or follow your own program. The main bit that I want to show you anyway is with the barbell. So this bit is just something I personally do. So the first thing I'm going to do is something called a Samson stretch, where I'm simply going to rock my hip backwards and forwards, and you should feel a nice stretch come through your hip flexor down around the front of your thigh. So these movements are basically to warm up the muscles, take the muscles and the joints through full range of motion. So effectively you've got enough lubricant in the joints to make sure that they flow nicely and they move nicely, and you've got enough flexibility in the muscles so of course they don't strain during the workout. So I'm going to swap legs and I'm just rocking backwards and forwards. And what I'm going to need to do with all these movements, I'm going to do them twice. And how long I stay in each movement will depend on how I'm feeling that day. So if I'm feeling particularly sore or tight, I'll spend more time during my warm-up before I move on to the barbell. Usually, I do about 5 to 10 reps, which in this case is just rocking backwards and forwards. 5 to 10 reps, both legs, just easing everything up. Now you don't want to do too much static stretching. A lot of you I've already spoken to, but static stretching actually reduces the force output of the muscle. So when we're going into a training program, we don't want to reduce the force output of the muscles, because of course that's what we want to train. I'm going to pause there for a second. Next thing we're going to do is a pigeon stretch. So all on the floors, bring one foot up, we'll bring one knee off the floor, wrap the other leg around in front of you, and then ease into it. And again, just pulsating that movement. So as I was saying, you don't want to static stretch, you don't want to reduce the force output of the movement. You just want to go in and out and do something called dynamic stretching. Okay, so again, just pulsating, moving that around in there. So this is really getting the glutes and the hips generally. Swap over. Again, just pulsating a few times in this position. I say if anything's feeling particularly tight, then you can spend more time in these positions. Or you might want to use a roller or a massage gun as well if you're, again, feeling pretty tight. And if you're an individual who is struggling with their mobility, then you can do some static stretching, because if the movement quality or the position quality is going to affect the overall workout and how much weight you can produce or how much weight you can lift anyway, then you might as well do some static stretching. But people who have that, I would have already explained it to you. Cool, so yeah. So open up the hips. Now the next one we're going to do is something for the calves, okay? Now you can either just step off a step or sofa or some sort of cushion to increase your force flexion. We have got plenty of equipment in here, but just it just happens to be that I haven't got my camera in a good angle. So what I'm going to do is a calf stretch which doesn't require any other equipment. So what you need to do is bring your palm in the air, up on your toes, then you're going to bring one heel down, you feel a stretch in that calf there, again pulsating up and down, then other side. Okay, feeling it in the calf. And this is going to improve your dorsiflexion or your knee's ability to go over your foot. Which when we're trying to do any sort of Olympic weightlifting, that's what we want to do. It will allow the torso to stay more upright. Okay. So, next thing is quite a common one, and we've done it before in my other mobility videos, and it's quite something we do quite regularly in the warm-ups, is your hip flies. So you're going to hold on to your feet, bring your bum up all the way, or as far as you can, and way down. And so 5 reps. Good. Right, so a little bit of upper body stuff now. So the first thing to do is a lat stretch. So again, you've done this in the other videos, and you've done it quite regularly with me in training. You're going to bring your bum down to your heels in this kneeling position. You're going to reach out in front of you on the floor, and then you're going to walk your hands over to one side. You should feel that stretch come down the side here. Hold that, not stating, and just moving it around to kind of ease up that shoulder girdle. Then walk hands over to the other side. Might feel some, or hear some clicks as well. There's nothing to worry about. Again, not spending too much time in each position, just want it to open up. Cool. Next one is for your triceps. So all these upper body muscles are going to be hugely influencing that front rack, which in cleans we're going to be using a lot. Of course, for snatches your warm-ups will be slightly different, but of course we're not doing snatches today, so we don't need to worry about it. Cool. Then the last one before I pick up the barbell is just for the wrist flexors. So again, you can do this on a table, chair, whatever. On the floor, you're just going to place your hands flat and your palms facing away from you. So your elbows are facing away from you as well. Then you're actually going to lean back and just feel a slight stretch come down your forearm. This is just going to ease off or ease up the wrists. Okay, so should be fairly nimble and feeling a bit more warmed up at this point. If you are feeling tighter, then feel free to do that circuit again or do other stretches that I've shown you. But from this warm up, you should be fairly, let's say, loose and able to squat. So now, with the barbell, the point of doing a barbell warm up is to reinforce good movement and good positions, okay? So effectively going to break down the movement of the clean into little movements, okay? What order you do this in, it really doesn't matter. I change my order basically every time I train, again, depending on how I'm feeling, depending how tight or sore I am. But what I'm going to do is do the video, I'm just going to work through it, then there should be name of each exercise comes up in the bottom, somewhere around here, okay? So, I'm just going to work through it, and the names will come up. I should also mention that you're going to grab the bar in your normal clean position, okay? So, you're reinforcing all the good movement in the positions that you're going to be using. The number of exercises there, breaking down the clean movement. So what I'll do at this point is gradually build the weight up to my first working set. So if my first working set was 100 kilos, I'll do a few cleans at 50 kilos, then a few cleans at 70, and then I'll jump to 100. Okay, so you only want to do a few sets just to build up that weight, wake up the central nervous system so you're ready for the actual weight that you want to use in your workout. Great, any questions, let me know. If you're not fully warmed up by that point, feel free to do the circuit again until you are warm. Cool, as I say, any questions, let me know. I'll see you soon. Take care.